Alright, so now we're going to be using this composition right here in our project in another composition. So whenever things get thick, and if you want to get a little unthick as far as the complexity goes, we use compositions within other compositions. So here's a new composition. And just to make it easy to understand, here's rename. And for this main composition, we're just going to go, this one is just fire. Okay. This one's going to be main. And you can see that below here also. So let's take fire, drag it down to main. And you can see I just don't have those anymore as far as the different variations, the colorize, the alpha. I don't have those. Those are back here in main. Cool. So, or fire, sorry. So here's main with fire. Alright, now let's go in here to do a little thing. We're going to distort this. And we're going to go page down, find distort. And we're looking for a thing called polar coordinates. Okay, in polar coordinates, we're just going to click and drag this out to fire. And I'm going to turn up the interpolation. So I have something like this. Now I like the top part of it. I don't like the bottom part. Okay, well, very easy to fix. We'll go in here and type in linear. And we'll use a linear wipe to remove the bottom part of it. So in this case, I put this at 0. Feather at 100%. And then drag this up. And I would say something like 49% would be good. Perfect. Alright, now let's take this and duplicate it. Control C, Control V. Let's take the bottom one and go to Layer, Transform, Flip Vertical. So this is what I have now. Also, we have to trim our composition to match our old one. So the 32 frames. To get in here, just go like this. Zoom out. Drag this to right there. Zoom in. Make sure it's at the very beginning here. It should snap. And I should be able to go to Composition, Trim Composition to Work Area. So now I should have my 32 frames back. Again, notice how I can only go to 31. 0 counts as a frame. So here's 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, hit the space bar, just make sure everything's okay. Good. Looks nice. Alright, now we have to render it out. And to render something here in After Effects, we go to Composition, Add to Render Queue. Oh wait, we have to make this smaller too. That's right. So we have to have one more composition here. I call it Sprite. Sprite. Only because it's so small. Hit OK. Sprite's just going to contain the fire. And we're going to put the main in Sprite. I know that's confusing too, right? So what happens is sprite needs to be a little bit smaller. We can always right click on here and go to composition settings and type in 128 by 128. That will make a really small sprite. See, I didn't want to screw up main. I like how detailed it is. Fire, I didn't want it screwed up because it's being nicely animated. That's the reason we have so many compositions. So here's main, drag it down to sprite, and then right click on it and go transform fit to composition. Now we got this really, really, really tiny composition here. Again, we want to match that frame for 31 frames, or 32 with the 0. Composition, trim composition to work area. Okay. Again, let's hit spacebar. And this one should render a little bit slower, but when it does go, it'll be really fast. So once you start tiling out with so many compositions, it gets a little slower and slower until finally you need a really fast machine and able to pull off a 128 by 128 sprite. There we go. Good. In the next little video, we'll look at rendering this.